Dear students, this is Afsana Awal. Today I will take your B.G.S class, and our today's topic is Chapter 2, Lesson 1, 2 and 3. So let's start our class. That means today we will discuss these lessons. Chapter 2, Lesson 1, 2 and 3. Okay, we will discuss this. And just look, this is Chapter 2 and the chapter's title is Culture and Cultural Diversity of Bangladesh. This is our chapter's title, and we will discuss this. And now Lesson 1, Introduction to Cultural Diversity in Bangladesh. There are some sectors where we can see the cultural diversity in Bangladesh. At first, the first one is cultural diversity according to religion. In Bangladesh, actually different people of different religions, people of different races live together, and there are also different types of ethnic groups, and they also live here. That's why we see the cultural diversity in our country. So the first one is cultural diversity according to religion. Personal and social lives are influenced by religion. At a stage of the social development, people wanted to control supernatural powers through worshipping nature. This country was not an exception either. Besides worshipping the mighty forces of nature like sky, wind, sun, and moon, they also used to worship living elements of nature, such as rivers, seas, trees, etc. With the advent of Brahma religion, worshipping of some old gods and goddesses remained, while some new were added. The local devotional songs, mantras, that means spells, tantras, lyric and folk stories persisted. The Vedic book of religion and Vedanta hymns written in Sanskrit were new additions. Alongside making and decorating idols, pata painting, arts and crafts practices, hymns and other devotional practices were prevalent. The Hindu religion also includes dance as one of its prayer rituals. In this country, Islam was mainly preached by Sufis. The Muslim community also got enriched by the fortune seekers from Iran, Turkey and Afghanistan during the Middle Ages. And here, just look, we see that there are that means the Muslims have two religious festivals, the Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. These are the main Muslim festivals. There are some other festivals also, but they are the main religious festivals, and they are Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. And the Buddhists are the followers of Gautam Buddha. They arrange festive functions during the Buddha Purnima. And the Christians also celebrate different religious functions. The Christmas is also a big celebration of the country where other communities participate. The people of the small ethnic groups of the country have different religious and social festivals. Major festivals of these people include the New Year, spring and wedding ceremonies. That means here we have seen that means the cultural diversity according to religion. We see here that the festivals of the Hindus and the Muslims, the Buddhists and the Christians, and the people of different ethnic groups, they also have their own celebrations, they also have their own festivals. Now, cultural diversity according to language. Although most people of Bangladesh speak Bangla language, there are some inhabitants whose mother languages are not Bangla. For example, Chakma, Marma, Garo, Khashia, Manipuri, Santal, etc. Thus, language also brings about cultural diversity in Bangladesh. I told you that people of different ethnic groups live here together and they have their own languages also. That's why we see the cultural diversity in the language. Now, cultural diversity according to ethnicity. Apart from religion and language, ethnicity also contributes to the cultural diversity in Bangladesh. Each religious tribe of the country has different rites and festivals. They also differ in respect of their lifestyle. The communities have differences in food habit, clothing, marriage ceremonies, birth celebration, and funeral rituals. Thus, diverse cultural trends are created by ethnicity. Now, a diverse cultural mixture. Different religious tribes of Bangladesh are unable to remain restricted to their separate cultural identity. One cannot limit culture within a particular tribe. When two cultures continue alongside, one influences the other. Thus, the culture of a religious tribe is influenced by another. This mixing happens in language, food, clothing, observances, and various religious tribes. The culture created through this mixing of elements available in Bangladesh can be called Bangladeshi culture. So here in lesson 1, we see the cultural diversity in different sectors. The cultural diversity according to religion, the cultural diversity according to language, cultural diversity according to ethnicity, and diverse cultural mixture. Now go to lesson 2 and 3. Rural and urban culture of Bangladesh. And girls, and students, you can see lots of differences between the rural culture and the urban culture. In some cases, they are completely different. They have similarities, but most of the cases they are different from each other. So, rural culture of Bangladesh. At first, rural culture of Bangladesh. Whatever people do and think belong to their culture. Rural people are engaged in various professions. Their behavioral pattern, creativity, roles, etc. determine the rural culture. And some mentionable professionals and artisans of village areas are farmers, fishermen, blacksmiths, potters, then boatmen, tailors, village doctors, snake charmers, exorcists, teachers, businessmen, imams, and other clergymen. And this culture of Bangladesh, that means the rural culture of Bangladesh, can be divided into two patterns: socio-economic life based and festivals and recreational patterns. So now we will discuss these two patterns. The first one is culture oriented with socio-economic life. Rural life is chiefly oriented with agriculture. Some people have their own fields and some people do not have their own fields, and they earn their livelihood working in others' fields, and their lives are also agriculture oriented. That means some people have their own field and some don't have their own fields. Earlier people used to plow the lands with cows. Irrigator used to be done manually. But nowadays, besides cow and plow, there are tractors and power tillers to plow the lands. Shallow machines are there to irrigate lands. These developments are increasing communication with towns and cities, and urban culture is gaining influence on rural culture. That means here also we see the difference. That means nowadays Nowadays people use more developed items, more developed things to plow the lands. Even a few years back, there was a saying that Bengalis are fond of fish and rice, and then the granaries were full with paddy. But now, and there are some rivers, and rivers were actually full of fishes. But now, most of these rivers and streams have filled up. Residues of insecticides and chemical fertilizers from fields are getting mixed with water and killing small fries and spoiling eggs of fishes. As a result, fish is no more that available in villages. Yet villagers try to live on fish, rice, vegetables, pulses, etc. according to their ability. Homemade cakes and pies are prepared for consumption. Many villagers cultivate vegetables and, meeting their own need, sell the surplus. Once villagers used to wear simple dresses. So here we see the to cultivate the lands. Here we see the culture oriented with socio-economic life. Here we see the agriculture based life, the changes of the agriculture based life. Now the dresses. Once villagers used to wear simple dresses. Males used to work in their fields with lungis on the, or at best vests or fotuas on top. Their clothes in festivals were pajama, Punjabi or shirts. Females generally used to wear cotton saris. Now the urban influence has brought certain changes. Adolescent and young males wear pants and shirts beside shirt and lungi. Females use frocks and salwar kameez besides saris. Villagers earlier used to live in clay huts or houses made of wood, bamboo with tall grass roofing. Now, thatched tin roofing and brick buildings are also available. Once the villagers used to move on foot for communication. In some areas there were bullock carts. Boat was the communication means during the monsoon. Now that roads have been constructed, rickshaws and motor vehicles ply them. Boats now are modified with engines. Majority of population in Bangladesh are Muslims. They are followed by the Hindus, Buddhists and Christians. In rural areas, they observe their respective religion and live in harmony. Now the next part, that means festivals and recreation. The village people of our country have been observing different kinds of festivals for ages. And now we will learn these types of festivals. A Boishakhi Mela, a fair in April. Nobanno, a festival after the late autumn harvest. Hal Khata, opening of new accounts book of business people. Then boat race, marriage ceremonies, etc. are participated by all people. Earlier, special arrangements for night-long jatra, opera, palagan, kopigan, poetry with rhymes, etc. were made in rural areas as means of recreation. Although they are not lost yet, but they are not that frequent now. The Muslims observe Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha as their main festivals. Besides Shab-e Barat and Eid Miladun-Nabi are added with some festive spirits. The Hindus celebrate various pujas, that means worshipping, like Durga Puja, Lokhi Puja, Kali Puja, Saraswati Puja, Dol Purnima, Rash and Rath Jatra, that means charioting, etc. There are also many rituals among the Hindus. The Buddhists celebrate various festivals including Buddha Purnima. Similarly, the Christians observe the Christmas alongside other customs of their religions. So here we see the sectors of the rural culture. Now the urban culture of Bangladesh. Urban culture of Bangladesh can also be divided into two patterns: socio-economic life based, festivals, and recreational based, like the rural cultures. In many respects, urban culture is different from rural culture. Social bond in village is strong. Compared to this, social life in towns is limited. Actually, the lifestyle of the urban area and the rural area, this is completely different. So compared to this, social life in towns is limited. There may not be that much communication even among the dwellers of the same building. Urban children grow up in their respective homes or flats. It is very tough to find open field in towns. Children do not get opportunity or place to play or run about. Urban people mainly are busy with their profession. Some mentionable professions of towns are service, teaching, medical, business, then running industries, etc. At present, garments factories have been set up in big cities. Males and females of villages migrate to the cities, taking jobs in these factories. Some of these rural people also become rickshaw pullers, van drivers, or pushcart peddlers, or coolies and day laborers. Some features of the rural culture are accompanying them and influencing urban culture. Similarly, urban culture is also affecting rural culture. Although the urban people generally eat rice, fish, meat, etc., there are also some distinctions. They visit fast food shops, they eat sandwich, burger, etc. Dress pattern of the urban areas is spectacular. There are many diversity and glamour in urban people clothing. Now, festivals and recreation based. Like the rural people, the urbanities also observe religious festivals. Apart from them, some festivals get different color in urban areas. Pohela Boishakh, Bangla New Year, and Poila Falgun, opening of spring in the city areas, has special color and splendor. Nowadays, even the Ekushe Boimala, book fair of February, is observed like a festival. Witnessing stage play is also a popular recreation among the urbanities, besides watching television and cinema. And this is the picture of the Mongol procession of Boishakh. And girls, now time for your HW. This is your HW. From this unit, that means it will be this is not unit, it will be chapter. This is chapter 2. This is chapter 2, lesson 1 to 3. From these lessons you have to make 5 one-word answer, and this is your HW. Okay, that means chapter 2, lesson 1 to 3. From this chapter, these lessons, you have to make 5 one-word answer. Okay students, that's all for today. Allah Hafiz.